"Don't jump." The rain fell steadily against the glass windows of the 42nd floor, each drop creating tiny rivers that raced toward the building's edge. Marcus Chen stood in his corner office, watching the city blur through the water-streaked glass. His reflection stared back at him, a man in his early 30s, wearing a wrinkled suit that had seen better days. Dark circles under his eyes told the story of countless sleepless nights. His company, TechFlow Solutions, was drowning. 3 years of building something he believed in, and now the investors were pulling out. The final email had arrived that morning: "We're sorry, but we can no longer support your venture." 27 employees would lose their jobs by Friday. 27 people who had trusted him, who had families to feed. Marcus loosened his tie and walked to the elevator. He needed air. He needed to think. The rooftop had always been his refuge during the hardest moments. Up there, above the noise of the city, he could usually find some clarity. The elevator climbed slowly, each floor marking another second of his failing empire. When the doors opened to the rooftop access, a gust of cool, rain-soaked air hit his face. He stepped out onto the concrete surface, his dress shoes splashing through small puddles that had formed between the air conditioning units. But he wasn't alone. At the far edge of the building, near the low safety wall, stood a young woman. She was maybe 25, wearing a light blue sundress that was now soaked through from the rain. Her long brown hair clung to her shoulders, and one hand rested protectively over her rounded belly. She was pregnant, probably 6 or 7 months along. She stood too close to the edge. Marcus's heart stopped. All thoughts of his business troubles vanished in an instant. He took a careful step forward, his voice gentle but firm. "Hey there," he called out, loud enough to be heard over the rain but soft enough not to startle her. "Don't jump." The woman turned slightly, just enough for him to see her profile. Tears mixed with raindrops on her cheeks, but there was something familiar about her face, something that made his breath catch. "I'm not going to jump," she said, her voice carrying a strength that surprised him. "I'm just thinking." Marcus moved closer, slowly, keeping his hands visible. "That makes 2 of us then. Mind if I think out loud for a minute?" She glanced at him fully now, and recognition hit them both like lightning. "Emma," Marcus whispered. "Marcus Chen," she breathed. "I should have known. You always did come up here when things got complicated." Emma Rodriguez had been his college roommate's girlfriend. They'd spent countless evenings studying together in the library, grabbing coffee between classes, talking about their dreams for the future. She'd wanted to be a teacher. He'd wanted to change the world through technology. They'd been close friends, maybe something more, but life had pulled them in different directions after graduation. "What are you doing here?" Marcus asked, taking another step closer. The rain continued to fall around them, creating a strange intimacy in the chaos. "I work here," Emma said, managing a weak smile. "Well worked. I got laid off today. Budget cuts. Turns out being pregnant makes you expensive to keep around, even though they can't say that legally." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "What floor?" 38. "Harrison Marketing." She paused, studying his face. "Why? What floor are you on?" 42, he said quietly. "I own TechFlow Solutions." Or owned. "We're closing on Friday." They stood there in the rain. 2 old friends who had found each other at the lowest point of their lives. The irony wasn't lost on either of them. "So you're the CEO everyone's been talking about," Emma said. "The one whose company is in the building directory. I wondered if it was you. But there are probably lots of Marcus Chens in the world. Not so many who remember that you put extra sugar in your coffee and always carried a red pen for grading papers you didn't even have yet," Marcus replied. Emma laughed, a sound that was half sob, half genuine amusement. "You remember that?" "I remember everything about our conversations. You were going to teach high school English and help kids find their voices through writing." Marcus moved closer, close enough now that he could see the exhaustion in her eyes. "Did you do it? Did you become a teacher?" "For 5 years. She nodded. "I loved it. But then the divorce happened, and I needed something with better insurance, more stable hours. Marketing paid more." She touched her belly gently, "Especially with this little one coming." "And the father?" Emma's expression darkened. "Let's just say he wasn't ready for the responsibility. It's just me and the baby now." Marcus felt a surge of protective anger, followed immediately by something else, an idea that was forming in the back of his mind. "Emma," he said carefully, "what if I told you that maybe we both found each other up here for a reason?" She looked at him skeptically. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I've been so focused on the big picture, the investors, the market share, the competition, that I forgot why I started TechFlow in the first place. I wanted to make tools that help people do meaningful work better. Educational software, learning platforms." Emma's eyes widened slightly. "Like what?" "Like programs that help teachers create interactive lessons. Like platforms that let students collaborate on writing projects from home. Like tools that make learning accessible to kids who might not have traditional classroom opportunities." The rain began to lighten, and a small break in the clouds led through a shaft of golden evening light. It illuminated both of their faces, washing away some of the despair that had brought them to the rooftop. "You're talking about pivoting your entire company," Emma said slowly. "I'm talking about saving it, and maybe giving you a job doing what you were born to do." Marcus extended his hand toward her. Come away from the edge, Em. Help me figure out how to build something that matters. Emma looked at his outstretched hand, then back at the cityscape below them. For a long moment, she didn't move. Then, slowly, she reached out and took his hand. You know, she said as he helped her step back from the ledge, I always wondered what happened to that idealistic guy who wanted to change the world. He got lost. Somewhere between venture capital meetings and profit margins, Marcus admitted. But maybe he's still in there somewhere. They stood together in the gentle rain. Two old friends who had found each other again at exactly the moment they both needed saving. In 6 months, TechFlow Solutions would launch its first educational platform, with Emma Rodriguez as head of curriculum development. In 7 months, Marcus would be in the delivery room, holding Emma's hand as she brought their daughter into the world, not his biologically, but his in every way that mattered. But that evening on the rooftop, they simply held hands and watched the sun break through the clouds, knowing that sometimes the best way to save yourself is to save someone else first.